Welcome, friends. Today we are doing another live stream. It's been a while. How are we? Busy? Are we having fun? I'm having fun. I mean, not too much fun. I'm just getting in from the shop. I went and got some water and some Turkish delight. Oh. Oh dear, Barbara. How are we? Is everybody good? You have been busy? You have not been busy? Sorry, I'm just sorting myself out. I need to check the chat. Make sure I can see what you are saying. So that is very important. Let's see what we are up to. Oh. Where's the chat? Hold on. I can't find it. I can't find my own video. This is not very clever. I'm live now, bitch. What's happening? Sorry, friends. I'm having a nightmare. Where the fuck's the chat? Oh, there it is. Right. The chat is quite thick. There's a lot of people here. Let's have a look. Yesterday was an excellent collaboration of live streams, according to Phil. Eugene, the Ram, and Melissa. Sunday Duck, says Bob. Welcome, Phil Stevens. Duck, I would buy you a pound of coffee if only I had a brain. I don't understand. Steph's Bubbles. Hello, Phil. Reminds me of Lawrence Welk show, if anyone remembers the 60s and 70s cult of music, 1 and 2. And that dog sure got some pretty lips, says Phil. That's a very suspect thing to say, Philip. Oh, righty. More perfumes we come across, more perfumes we seek, says Steph's. Jeremy is the gateway drug. I blame him for my addiction. No, you are responsible for your addiction, not Jeremy. Sorry about that. Everyone is responsible for their own addictions. Any thoughts on Givenchy Gentleman EDT Original? Yes, I've got a bottle. I really like it. Phil says, yes, I needed a fix, ran out and got this Givenchy last night. EDT Givenchy is easy to wear and most versatile of the line, says Steph's. We're talking the 1974 version, clear bottle, silver label. That's right, we're on Mitch's channel, says Steph's. Yes, I've got it and I love it. I have an old bottle. Patchouli Paradise with some civet on top, says Phil. How was the pizza, says Jura. It was nice. I'm fucking stuffed, though. Hello, DJ. Hello, Afonso. Hello, Adam. Pradeep says, hello there, peeps. Did the doggo smell the Leon? It's not happy. I'm bored, Mitch. You managed to try those shit new girl-ons yet? No, but I was looking at them just before. So expect a video. I'm going to do an Ego East comparison video as well sometime in the next week or two. I've got a little sample of Bois Noir. I have a vintage Egoist. I have the Cologne concentrate. I've got a modern formulation of the Egoist as well. I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the Girl on Vetiver video. Well done, Rich and NUFC. We got spanked. I don't think he's got spanked. I just think Newcastle, I mean, we are fucking, I'm not used to it. You know what I mean? It's weird, but we're actually good now. Like, Eddie Howe's fucking very, very good. I'm so glad we got him instead of Unai Emery. I mean, Oud Cole is okay, I guess, says DJ. Hello, Dushan. Bob says Europe 72. Jura Rose says scent of the day, Montabaco Parfum. Dushan is wearing Hermes Bellamy, the shaker bottle. Nice. That is very smoky and very dark. It's starting to get to that kind of weather here where I can wear that, you know. Natalia, welcome. Is the wind howling in Castle Canard? Not tonight, but the rain is pouring. Adam has gone against the grain and is wearing Tom Ford Neroli Portofino Aqua. Jura says, I'm craving a cup of tea and a custard cream. Can you turn up the wind through the window for Halloween effect? No, sorry. Can't control the weather. There's a chaotic system. Oh. Eugene's coming in, throwing his weight about. Sheep Napolitan, no bust, only tassel, says Natalia. Welcome, Natalia. Alan, this again. Yes, this again. Sorry about it. Hello, weed effect, says Dushan. Hello, Erin. Scent of the day is Amen. Outrageous. Nice. Mike is wearing Beau de Jour. Alan is wearing Sturgis by Otto Parisi. El Pato. El Sancho. Welcome. How are you? Dusan says, Natalia, Sheep Napolitan is in the same league as Diaghilev, one of the best sheep ever. MJ was an innocent man. Sorry, MJ, that was a misfire. MJ. Justice for MJ. MJ, speak. Are you still with us? Pat Lester, welcome to you. Hello, Rich. Scent of the day is Bleu de Chanel. Even for a blue fragrance, the incense and ginger get to me every time. Hope to watch your next review from retirement home wearing socks and having some cookies, says Pradeep. It has been a while. Eugene is sorry, MJ. Good morning, afternoon, evening to everyone, says Ton Jamo, I beg your pardon. Haven't applied fragrance yet today, debating between Queer Beluga and Tower Orange Star. Orange Star is definitely a weird one. I haven't smelled it. Juroro says I might dress up as Maurice Roussel for Halloween. That would be a horror show. Hello, Eugene, says Dushan. And Eugene says, Dusan Statima? Drawn by Sense, welcome. Field de Tabac is your scent of the day. Dushan, I love Paco Rabanne Lanaway most, and Mitsuko, says Juros. Evening, Peter Kokorin, Araby Today by Serge Luton. I've got an older bottle of that. I don't rate it. Uncut Gem is miles better than the girl on Oud, says Eugene. Yikes. JR, same here, says Bob. Dushan has said something in Serbian, which I do not speak. I'm afraid I would cause an international incident if I was to try and pronounce that. Probably get put on some kind of list. Natalia says, Turdushan. Diaghilev has a clearer voice, if I know what I mean. Palatine is more like a chord, while Diaghilev is like a metal guitar solo. Orange Star is orange with the Tower Art, says Jura. English, please, says Jura. Says Bob. Pradeep says, I am in Dawn, a sample from Mal, Carlos's third good perfume. I don't really care for Dawn. Lanawi is fabulous, apparently. Natalia, we are Civet Sisters. Sure, there was a band called Civet Sisters, wasn't there? Eugene has made some kind of European utterance that I don't understand. And Natalia is saying Civet till the end of the world. Duck no ka-o. Duck no ka-oi. No ka-I. I don't know, I can't even speak English. Jura Rose doesn't like Promise. Shut up. Silly woman. Oh dear. What a day. What a day. Oh, I need to find the lid for this bottle, because I'm going to throw it at the bin in a second. And hopefully it will go in. Sorry. I have cough. I think I've got a cold, and my immune system is suppressed, so I'm not getting the symptoms. I'm going to have to go to the doctor, I've had this weird cough for a few weeks, and I keep getting a headache and stuff like that, so, but I don't want to talk about health stuff because it's fucking misery. I don't like Promise Off-Cider with too much ambroxan, says Jura. Natalia says something in Polish, I assume. AW, hello. Scent of the day, Vinay Havana. Wore that this week. Absolutely fantastic. Brilliant. I'll be wearing that a lot more. I'm looking forward to absolutely hammering that bottle this winter. Absolutely. Love the cocoa and dry stone fruit note. I like the vanilla in it, would you believe? I like the cocoa as well. I think I mentioned that in my video today. Antoine Lee's got this cocoa note thing. He's got this ingredient that he uses. It's the ultrasound tincture. And it's fucking beautiful. It really is very, very nice. I've bought an Antoine Lee creation actually a couple of days ago, so you can expect to see that on my channel in the coming days. Dried stone fruit, yeah. Yeah, I think the vanilla in it's actually really nice. I think it's very easy to do a shit vanilla because there's so many out there. I think you can really fuck up a vanilla if you're not careful. It's very hard to do a one that stands out, one that's really good. But I think that is actually really, really nice in there. Dushan says, Jura, the Towerade is the amber soul. It's beautiful. Andy Tower, self-taught perfumer, nailed it. The Scissor Sisters is a band, says Tonjamo. Yes, it is, you're right. Promise is mid, says Eugene. Pradeep says, I am enjoying it, actually, Eugene. People have kind of brushed it off after the night. I like Promise. Bob says, what year is that Egoist? Back then they called the men's EDT concentrate like my poor monsieur bottles. The EDT concentrate that I've got is early 90s. 93, 94. Maybe even 92. I don't know how long the Cologne concentrate lasted for, but I've got 2 bottles. I've got 100 and a 50 ml. But I'll be doing comparisons, don't you worry. What's the most underrated mall, says Jura? Noir a piece for me. Underrated as fuck. What a fragrance that is. I don't own a bottle, which is quite outrageous. Eugene says, less complex than the night, but better blended. What is? What is better blended? What are we talking about here? Oops. Dawn is better than night, is better than moon, is better than promise. Nah, dawn shit. Sorry about that. I don't like the dawn. Like, very much overpriced. I love Noir a piece, says Jura Rose. Yeah, it's fantastic. So the day is superstitious. Natalia was talking to Tan Jamo about, I didn't know what the Scissor Sisters meant until I watched a certain episode of South Park. Yes, Mr. Garrison has taught us all a few things, has he not? Scent of the day, superstitious, says Eugene. Very superstitious. The writing's on the wall, if you like, Eugene. Very superstitious. The writing's on the wall. That is a good one indeed, says Tom. Prodeep is on Fleur de Cassis, their worst seller, apparently, says Prodeep. Yeah, they're always trying to sell it to me, but I don't particularly like it. Scissor Sisters, isn't that a fragrance channel? I mean, they're up. No, I'll not go there. The Duck is here. Hello, everyone. Hello, Shiva. Shiva is here. Welcome. How are you? What's happening? You all right? Where are we? I need to get back to where I was, lest I forget what you people were saying. Superstitious is fucking great. Polish, what does that say in that? It's the apple and promise that throws it off. Nah, it's what makes it. Better perfumer, Chris Maurice or Christian Carbonell. It's very good, Mike. I said I will start sleeking my own language. I will start speaking my own language, says Natalia. Eugene, it's not even apple, it's like off sour cider. Makes me feel a bit sick, says Jura Rose. Alan Hansen says, anybody here sampled perfumes by the House of Obvious? Not me. Never even heard of them. Bryce says, yeah, Promise is kind of unwearable to me now. It's so fucking loud and butch. It's a blow to the head and just blows out my senses. Nah, I love it. Greetings all. I finished my chores, says Galen, which is an in-joke, an inside joke. An awful, awful, awful prospect. I told you it wouldn't take you 10 minutes. Scent of the day, raw gold. Stunning and absolutely stunning, says Shiva. Eugene Superstitious, yes, really has a Chanel influence. Fantastic. Eugene says vanilla is everywhere. Yes, it's so easy to make like a crap average vanilla. It's very hard to make one that stands out as being good. I'd like to try Tejota again. I know Kurdijan made it, but I'd like to try it again, just see how it is. Natalia Rizard from Poland that I know, says Bob. Jura says, Alan, yes, I have. They are very simple. The patchouli is nice. They are so one-dimensional, they sell them as layering. Christ. Micah, welcome. Afternoon all. Alan says to Mike, a few years ago, I was surprised by how How manly Chris Maurice creations how many Chris Maurice creations I owned without knowing they were by him. Eugene says Francis Curtijon wishes he could perfume like Tower. He probably does. I mean, if he doesn't, he should. Hello, Cat Church. How are you? You are meow. How are you feeling? Sorry, this phone is still taking me a little bit to get a handle of. Stop that. Tower is an artist. I love his works. Scent of the day, Chanel Boy, says Micah. Dushan, Eugene, my friend says that Promise has the smell of flowers at the cemetery, but I like Promise so much. I like Promise too. Natalia says to Bob, if this is the Rizard I'm thinking of, I believe he is a perfumer himself. Outrageous. Alan says, thanks, Jura. They have a new oud, which I'm curious about. Alan loves his oud. Absolutely loves his oud. If I learned one thing that day, it was how much Alan loves oud. Shiva says, I never finish mine. Their retired life, I guess. Says to Galen, not Jura. Promise is too aggressive. I prefer my lovers more gentle. Eugene is soft. Wants a cuddle. Hi all, says Prof Melvin. Big up to your magpie, says Micah. Yes. What a fucking performance that was. Miguel Almiron is a different man. He's born again hard. It's like a true Private Pile story. It's beautiful. Peter Kokorin says, Donste Bran never seems to get much love. No, not from me either. Mrs. Garrison says, Cat Church. Sorry, Cat Church, you are quite right. Eugene is Promise. Is Promise a dominatrix? Pau de Mizzou. Does Promise go animalic, funky on the dry down to you? Not to me, no. Alan says, I'm absolutely bewitched by the moon, anxiously waiting a FM flanker to that. Blue moon. Yikes. Don't put ideas in his head because fucking seems to love it, really. Sing it, Stevie Duck. I shall not. Promise is very clean in the base. Lots and lots and lots of Ambrox and Dura Rose trying to put us off. Vanille Havana is way too sweet for me, says DJ. Doesn't wear that sweet on me, actually. My 50ml of French Lover should arrive tomorrow, says Spaced Out. I've got a 10ml, not sure I'm going to replace it. I bet I would like that Dante, says Bob. Pradeep says, Dawn is really reminiscent of waking up in Dubai to sounds of prayers and people going to the mosque. Spiritual Olabanam oud. Hello, Rachel. Can't stay long, but so happy to catch a live. Welcome, Rachel. How are you? School of Scent reminds me of Mr. Garrison, says Steps. He bought his subscribers and his likes. Jesus Christ. Bob says, probably get out there and stroll along the river as there is still light out. There's no light here, mate. It's dark as fuck. School of Scent definitely did not ever buy followers, says Jura. Afraid he did. Yes, all is well, says Shiva. The weather is perfect. I'm awaiting a roast to finish while I listen to you. Fragrance savants. Yes. Jura Rose had a roast as well. What you'll think of Ben Aim being the greatest American perfumer alive? I didn't know Carlos Ben Aim was American, to be honest with you. Prof Melvin says, sent the day Amouage Gold Man needing an ego boost today. Rich, when are you going to make a top 5 fragrance to keep when one becomes homeless, says Pat. I think that was just a throwaway comment, to be honest with you. I'm not sure I'm going to do that. Although if I did become homeless, I would be taking me perfumes with us. Don't worry about that. Sure, good to catch a live one, says Cat Church. Welcome, Cat Church. Milli Vanilli was a clone brand, certainly was. Phil Stevens' girl, you know it's true. Rich, how you doing, Abe? Scent of the day is Furio. Jura says, Rich wants a cuddle too. I never want a cuddle. Can we fund a flight from Miami? I'm not gonna say what I want to say about a flight carrying that fucker. Ever since Grealish took the piss out of him, his form's been great, hasn't it? Yes, it has. Just goes to show that bullying works. I log in, the first thing I hear is you talking about snuggling Eugene, says the Mr. Zanshin. Cuddles was reduced to a pile of ashes by a ghost and a witch yesterday. It'd be a massive pile of ashes, wouldn't it? Shithouse. Drawn by senses, yes, UK is dark and horribly wet. Well, it is down south, but it is here as well. It's been foul day up here. Got my Arisla Doria history of a toss set a few days ago. Well, who needed to save for retirement anyway? Gonna need most of them. Oh dear, are you gonna be buying all of those? Duke Savant, says Bob. Powder Mizu. I asked people, how do they describe Promise Dry Down? And no, they don't find it skanky. Why is it just me that feels that way? It could just be your skin chemistry. It does happen. It does happen, you know. Some people don't get any of the skank from Koros. Some people just get soap. Really strange. How's the weather in Blackpool, Rich, says Dura Rose. I don't know, mate. I do not know. It's wet as fuck where I am, though. I'll put you in time out, Dura. Behave thyself. Oh. So today I wore Noir Anthracite by Tom Ford, a forgotten and very discontinued gem. A great fragrance, that. Warm, woody, very woody, dry, spicy, fantastic. Very much feels like one of the last great Tom Fords, even though it got discontinued, but then again, so did Sahara Noir. Dushan says it's darker than in Whitepool. Whitepool sounds like somewhere in Skyrim, doesn't it? Bob says it's minerally. Yeah, it's got that kind of like mining aspect to it, you know, like a dusty, dry kind of dark underground kind of thing. Micah says, Tom Ford always discontinues its best scents. That's true. Stuff like Moss Bresh, stuff like Sahara Noir, all that stuff, you know. Absolutely outrageous. They're always getting rid of the best shit. I might do a Tom Ford. I might do a Tom Ford family portrait because I can't really see myself buying anymore unless they do a madness. I would like a bottle of Noir de Noir. I really like Noir de Noir. I really like Patchouli Absolute as well, but I'm not going to pay the prices like that they'll want online. I mean, go online right now and have a look at how much. I don't know that people even recognize vintage bottles of fucking Tom Ford. They're hard to fucking date, like. Pradeep says, I can't believe how cheap Tom Ford Private Blend smells now. It was oozing class sophistication. At one point, he's getting ready to sell the brand. It always happens. It happened with Creed. It's happening with Tom Ford. It's happened with other brands, which I can't think of off the top of my head. It's just a shame. Maybe the best ones are the most expensive to make, says Natalia. Patchouli Absolute doesn't strike me as something being expensive. And when you say expensive, you've got to remember the markups on perfume are huge. Sorry. The markup on perfume's huge. And Tom says, I also hear about the good Tom Ford scents way too late. What about that Cypress one that people go bonkers for? Yes. Oh, what was it called? Was it just called Cypress? Something Cypress, wasn't it? Tom Ford Extreme was a great one too, says Mike. Yes, I prefer the original to the later version as well. Alan says, thanks for the reminder. I might be wearing Tom Ford Sahara Noir this evening. Yes, Noir de Noir's dry down is wonderful. It's lovely all the way through. Sorry, I've got, I don't want to say a runny nose, but some kind of nose thing going on. Pau de Mizu says, funnily enough, I smell the carp. At first, all I get is Cypriol, but after 10 to 15 seconds of continuous smelling, it gets skanky, like really stinky. Comparing it to the atomizer, it's significantly fresher. Are you talking about Promise? What Tom Ford leather you got, Rich? Ombre or Tuscan? Both. I wore the Moon to work 3 days ago. Co-worker called today to tell me my desk area still smelled strong as hell. Outrageous. I don't care for the Moon. I'm trying to sell mine. Nobody wants to buy it. Had a few people want to buy it. But then eBay rejected their bids. I sent out an offer for how much I wanted for it. eBay rejected their bids. Bastards. Apparently it's a known issue they're having at the minute. Shit as fuck. Very upsetting. Micah, of course, it's a shooter. Says Dushan. Bob says, yes, Tom Ford might have been the first premium to drop off a cliff for sure. Maybe the premium. Maybe. Creed fell off before that, though. The tinkering with Aventus should have been a great big red flag. We know what to look out for next time, though. When scents that have been great start falling away, you know that they're looking to try and mess with they're messing with the formulation. They're trying to increase the profit margin so it looks better on the books to sell the company. You know, that's what it feels like anyway. Mike says 3 favorite rose scents: Noir de Noir, Lyric Woman, and Le Deliric Skis. Says Natalia. Tuscan leather is miles clear of ombre, says Micah. Italian Cypress, that was it, says Mike. Yes. Galen says there's no one to sell Tom Ford to. They're owned by one of the biggest companies in the world. One of the other biggest companies in the world want to sell it. I think it's the fashion side of it. But he wants to sell up. He wants to sell up and get out. You know? I imagine he's talking about selling the licenses to Estee Lauder. He's talking about selling just getting away. Maybe stay on as like a consultant every once in a while. Go to a launch party every once in a while. But I think it's since his partner died, he's not. I think he just wants to. I think he wants to ride off into the sunset. To be honest with you, that's my reading of it anyway. Jura says, Mike, I sprayed Lyric Woman on my arm earlier today. I love spice in the opening, and Oris comes through too as well. It's glorious. And Talia says they were not selling. Why do they make crap like those ones in the green and blue bottles? Never understood Tom Ford hype, says DJ. Nothing ever came across as good to me. Oliver Murray, I beg your pardon. Reeve Dombras deserves a signature collection re-release. Hello, the Scent Reaper. How are you? Be interesting to see what the next signature scent will be, says Micah. Still waiting for Chanel to release one. Costa Azura was a letdown addition, says Micah. I love my bottle of the moon, hardly wear it, only on certain occasions. I don't know why, it's already good. Is it the Rose and La Delire Exquise that vibes me of Cocoa EDP in a wonderful way, says Bob. Mall reforms are not great, says Jura. Pradeep says, you have clearly become highly sensitive to amberwood, like Chuck in Better Call Saul, but it can be done. I'm wearing Noir Anthracite today, and that's got amberwoods in it. If you like Interlude Man, which I don't, you don't mind amberwoods, that's all I'll say. Galen says, dudes, they've been owned by Lauda for a decade. Yes, I know, but not the fashion part. The fashion brand hasn't. The perfume brand has been, but not the fashion part. The fashion part of the brand. Galen, seriously, look it up. He's looking to sell. It's like known. He's got. I'm sure it's Goldman Sachs he's using to sell the brand, and he's looking to get about 3 or 4 billion. You know, the perfume is made by Estee Lauder. I don't know that they own all the rights. DJ says, you think Christopher Chong can make them Thameen more than a clone house? Yes. I have faith in Christopher Chong to do that. Whether he'll manage it or not depends what kind of budget he gets, I suppose, and what kind of creative freedom. Steph says, I can get Tom Ford Patchouli Absolute 1.7, which is 50 mil for 300 USD. Goodness me. Dear Lord. That is too much, mate. Don't buy it. Now that this is in negotiations to purchase Tom Ford, stay tuned, says Mike. No, Mike. Ah, Catherine. Welcome. It has been a while. How are you? I hope you are well. Scent of the day, Roja Lakme. That sounds Indian. Sounds like it could have Eastern connotations. I'm sure you're wearing it well. The Scent Reaper says, scent of the day, Bottega Veneta Pour Homme Extreme. My mate used to wear Bottega Veneta Pour Homme years ago. And it never stuck to it. The performance on it was shocking. Even he said that, and he was definitely not into perfume. And he was like, oh, it's like gone after 2 hours. And I was like, oh, that's not ideal. But I don't know if it was the extreme version. In fact, I'm almost certain it wasn't. Powder Mizu says, have you tried the current DHI 2017 formulation yet? And what did you think about it? Not sure. I don't know what year mine is. Scent of the day, Slumber House Greve, says Matrax. I haven't smelled any Slumber House. He makes it very difficult to buy them. You know, they're not easy to purchase those. You know, he gets in people's way of, like, you try and buy them and it's like he makes it hard for you to buy them, which is just, I don't know. Hi DMR, how are you? Dushan says, current DHI is like your haircut, Powder Mizu. Ooh, harsh. I can't really see Powder Mizu's haircut. Let's have a look. I mean, it's better than mine. Mine hasn't got any hair at all. I wish I had hair. Where are we? Tom Ford is a clever man, says Jura. Tapped into the upper-class Manhattan evening aesthetic, which a lot of people with a bit of money desire. Yeah, he's got that sort of, to me, it reminds us, it's like the ultimate Starbucks fragrance, like the type of people who drink in coffee shops and stuff like that and wear polo necks and type of thing that like people who aspire to be Steve Jobs wear, you know? Pradeep says Elon Musk can buy Tom Ford. Elon Musk is not the answer to everybody's prayers. Very good at what he does. Just stop assigning everything to Elon Musk. He doesn't need to do everything. I wouldn't mind a bit more plurality. I'd rather have 1,000 or 10,000 small, medium-sized businesses than one multi-billion, trillion-dollar company. They both have their ups and downs, but I would prefer more plurality so that not everything rested on one supporting wall, for lack of a better word. DJ says, Centre the Day Monsieur Balmain, the real vintage, not that yellow bottle remake reform. That is not bad. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind a bottle of that, actually. I haven't bought anything vintage since last week, actually. I haven't bought anything like outrageously like the vintage Balmain. I've got Ebony de Balmain, but it feels like it's been a while since I've bought anything like standout, sort of like that Monsieur de Balmain you've got there. Mike says last Tom Ford purchase was tobacco, 400 Canadian for 100 mil. That is just too much. They have a lot of that Slumberhouse stuff on Lucky Scent, but it sells out in like 48 hours. The good ones anyway, says Matt Trucks. Dushan says, when Jura Rose wears a vintage rose fragrance in the park, it becomes Jurassic Rose. Rich, what are you using all that vintage shampoo on? I don't have vintage shampoo. I've only got one vintage shampoo, and it's not actually a shampoo. It's like a body. It's like a hair and body thing. You know? Jurassic Rose. Hyde Park. The Center Reaper says, I love Houbagon Bois Mystique and Fahrenheit Absolute coming in the middle. Oh, I have Houbagon Bois Mystique and Fahrenheit Absolute coming in the middle. I was going to wear Fahrenheit Absolute today. Dushan says, hydrate Park. Yes, I will have to hydrate in a second. Favorite Houbagon? I tried the Fougere. It's the only one I've tried. I don't want to say it's the only one I've tried. I would say probably the Fougere Royale, which I actually quite enjoyed, but I've got Beau de Jour, which I think is better. Any Fendi vintage you like, says Steph's? I've got Fendi Uomo. That's really good. I was looking at that today as well. Jura says Jurassic is named after the Jura Mountains in Germany, where the rocks were found to be of a particular age, coined after those rocks. Yet the Jura I am named after is the Isle of Scott whiskey. Product says, I found some ADCs from the 70s for a good price, but afraid to buy. Not sure if they are intact even after proper storage. Oof. It's a tough one. I can't help you there. Have you tried buying like one or two of them and testing them? You might just have to take a risk or not take a risk. You know, it's up to you. Oh no, a 3-in-1 wash, don't do it, says Prof. Melvin. Rachel says, what shoe brush should I wear today? Can't decide. Givenchy 3, 31 Rue, Vintage Misty or Mitsuko. Bob says, love the sweetness in Fahrenheit Absolute. Halloween for sure. Mitsuko. Still waiting for my taste from Japan. Lamau says DJ. Yeah, you'll be waiting a while as well, mate. Right, I'm going to the bathroom. Give us 2 seconds. Oh. Oh dear. Friends, I have returned. Maybe I will eat some Turkish delight. For I have that. Whoa. What's happening here? But first, I'm going to take some tablets. Because of course I am. One moment, please. Whoa! A lot of people left. Who was supposed to be keeping an eye on the door? Okay, so where are we? Last night, or this morning, 6 o'clock this morning, somebody bought my bottle of leather blend. And I am happy. I'm glad to finally get rid of that shit. It is amber wood massiveness. And I can't deal with that. Far too big. Far too mean. Far too horrible. Bad perfume. The top's lovely. It's just the fucking dry down's absolutely horrific. It's just amber woods. Like, I'm wearing this Noir Anthracite today, right? And it's got amber wood in it, right? But I didn't know that. And I thought it was all right. So I'm thinking to myself, well, this must be how amber wood should be done. It shouldn't be relied upon to just be like 35, 50% of the fucking perfume, should it? Oh, okay, I'm back. Let's have a look. Japan taste was quite funny. Fragrance Journey, Robert, friend, goat. Nice to see you. What are you doing at work on a Sunday? Rachel says, I think Mitsuko won by 1 vote. Phil stays, Hoobastank is the name of a band. It certainly is. It's funny how such an average scent like Rive Gauche Pour Homme has crazy asking prices. The thing is with it, right, is that it reminds, I've opined this theory before, right? There are people who wore that stuff when they were younger, 20 years ago, right? And then they moved on. And then it got discontinued, right? Then what happened is 20 years later, they finally got some money and the supply is now very squeezed. And these people want some nostalgia. They want to smell like they did when they were young and happy, you know, or younger and happier. They want some nostalgia. So they go on eBay. And as the supply gets more and more squeezed, the price goes up. It's as simple as that. You know, and these people have got more, and these people, as they're 20 years older, they've got more money to spend, so they're willing to pay the prices, and that's what drives the price up. Supply and demand plus nostalgia, you'll make a fucking fortune. Toilet whistler, I see. Yes, that's right. Good to hear us whistling. I left the phone in here. I don't take the phone to the bathroom with us. Rachel says, but then which Mitsuko? 50s, 80s, 90s, 90s for doing the housework, mate. Mitch is using the silencer paying on the side of the bowl, says Dushan. 72 also produced Purple's great album, great live album. 89 produced Metallica's. Rich peas in his pond. No, he doesn't. Okay, we'll elevate the experience, says Rachel. I clean my toilets with Creed Viking cologne. Viking cologne, yes. I don't mind Viking, actually. So how's your neck? How's the weather in your neck of the woods? Everyone's sunny and 70 in beautiful Florida. This has been your 30-second weather report, says Phil. Catherine says, I can hear that you need to take... I can hear... Hold on a second, says Catherine. I can hear that you need to take guaifenesin. You can take it forever, and it also has an anecdotal off-label use by people with autoimmune diseases. Feel better, don't you? Thank you, Catherine. I'm going to write that down. I have faith. I'll try anything once. I'll see if I can... Let's have a little... Guaifenesin. I can't say that word. Not at this time on a fucking Sunday night. Sorry for swearing. I always want to be on better behaviour when Catherine's around. I don't know why. I always want to behave myself. Ah, there it is. It was a suggested result. What is it? Is it some kind of class of medication? It's called expectorants. It works by thinning the mucus in the air passages to make it easier to cough up the mucus and clear the airways. Outrageous. Mucinex. Can you just buy that over the counter? I know you can buy most things over the counter in America. We're much more strict about what medications over here. So I'll speak to the doctor about it, but I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. And yes, I do feel a little bit mucusy. I'm a little bit there. But I really appreciate that. Sorry, I mean lavender scented bleach, says Jura. Goodness me, I'm not taking that. Jura Rose, that's not great. That doesn't sound like great medical advice. Lavender scented bleach, I'm not even sure I've ever smelled that before. Haven't had Turkish Delight in years. Oh, honestly, lovely. Little bit of chocolate round it as well. Sensational. Nishane Delights, says Jura Rose. I had some fresh in Istanbul. Totally another level. Yes. Turkish Delight's one of those things that does have levels. You know, if you get the proper stuff with the proper rose in it, because obviously the stuff that you'll buy like in like your local convenience store will just be like whatever Procter and Gamble want to sell you. If you get the proper stuff with like real rose extract or rose water or whatever it is they use, like rose, stunning. Mozart Kugelin, so much better than Turkish Rahat Lokum, says Dushan. Dushan is a man of culture. Jura Rose says Bobby Deep Purple were more classically inspired, purer metal and generally faster paced. They were both brothers, though Led Zeppelin brought more blues and a bit more creative. I still think the first 4, maybe 5 Metallica albums, some of the best stuff I've ever heard. Amber Woods, when dosed correctly, are not bad. You just never hear them. You just never hear of them being dosed correctly anymore. You know, it's not great. It's not great because I really feel them, but it gives us faith that there are perfumes and perfumers out there who can use it properly. When I smell something like Noir Anthracite. Pradeep, stop showing off, says Jura. Good evening, Manly Sense. How are you? Very fast-paced with Ian Pace. You would hope so with a name like Pace. Jura Rose, that's right. Reggie Blackmore loves classical music. Blackmore was bluesy. Good evening, Manly. Hi, Dushan. Shiva says, I have a hard time detecting ambers on me. Maybe it's because too much military diesel fuel in my lungs, along with bourbon and chronic. A little bit of chronic for me. Well, I don't smoke anymore. Just can't hack it. I never smoked cigarettes. I never smoked tobacco, but I did used to smoke the old herb. It was always in resin form over here, though, because it was easier to get into the country. It's the perils of living on an island. But I always used to smoke that, and then stopped in my 20s because it was just driving us, like, it stopped, like, the payoff stopped being worth. There's herb. Smoking herb. The payoff stopped being worth it, but then recently there's been, like, these developments in, like, the way that there's been these developments in the way that you can, like, take the stuff and, like, oil. I'll get, like, little bits of oil off my friend. He makes it. And it's absolutely brilliant, like. Doesn't affect my chest. Doesn't affect breathing. I don't get as high, but I still get, like, the great body effects. It really is very good. But I wouldn't smoke it. I wouldn't smoke it again. To me, that part of the trade-off, I don't want to get high anymore, particularly. I've done that. I feel over that, you know. I don't drink either. I mean, don't get us wrong. If I take too much, if I don't get the dose right with that oil, I'll be high, and I can handle that. I can deal with that, and it's all right letting your hair down. Not that I've got any hair, but you know what I mean. Joe Rose, I agree, and love all the songs from Blackmore's Night. Scent of the evening, Balenciaga Pour Homme Sport Cologne. Don't, Michael, do not. We'll be here for a while looking for that stuff. Shalimar Sport sample. There is not a Shalimar Sport, Bob. Stop that. Scent of the day, Bry says, Tobacco 28, Lalabo. Welcome, Bry. No, Bry, there isn't a Shalimar Sport. They're winding you up. Jura says, Rich, I sent you the Irish Cadbury's Turkish Delight before. Yes, but I prefer the mint. Like, and I like the honeycomb as well, because I like honeycomb anyway. Better than warm Weetabix, though? I think not. Nah, I love warm Weetabix. Takes us back to being a child. Warm Weetabix, slice of toast. Tell you what's really funny, right? This is how, like, my mother knows when I'm really unwell, right? I have scrambled egg. I never eat egg as... I'll eat stuff with egg in it, right? But I don't eat egg on its own as egg unless I'm genuinely unwell. So strange. And then when I'm unwell, and I know when my mom isn't well because she stops drinking tea. My mom drinks like 5-10 cups of tea a day. When she's not well, she can't drink tea. All she wants is lemonade. Really strange. Really strange. Humans were unusual. Especially me and my mom. The proper Turkish Delight with all the powder all over it, says Dura Rose. Yes, that's good stuff as well. I like that. Thoughts on Yadigan? Got one coming this week. Vintage white label, says Black Monday. It's greener than you think. Right. Black Monday, welcome as well. I haven't seen you before that I'm aware of. But hello. I've got one of those vintage Yatigans, and it's greener than I thought it was going to be. The newer one is more warm, spicy, right? For me, there's this like verdant greenness in the vintage version, because I was all ready to wear my vintage Yatigan spring. I was all ready to wear it autumn, winter this year, and I sprayed some the other day, maybe it's even like a week or two ago, and I smelled it, and I was like, what on earth is this? Where did this greenness come from? And I was shook. I was shaken. I was like, what is going on here? It's just bizarre when you smell things in different times in different places and stuff. You'll be surprised what comes up. But I was surprised. Stephen says, love Metallica cover of Whiskey in the Jar. Yes, very good. Alan, possibly why people get them mixed up. How do you people eat Hershey? Goodness me. Gonna say something a little bit, no, I don't want to say stereotypical. Stereotypical is not there, but there's a very broad stroke, this. American sweets. Not great. Not great. Maybe it's because I come from England and we've got like we had like the Quakers. I know there was Quakers in America and everything like that as well, but the Quakers in this country, like the Barclays, you know, the bank, the Barclays were a Quaker family. The Roundtrees, Cadburys, they were all Quaker families, and they would make chocolate. They would be chocolatiers because they didn't drink, they didn't smoke, they didn't sin, they didn't, you know, that sort of thing. And maybe you've been spoiled in that sort of regard, you know. Not that Cadburys and Roundtrees are up to much these days. I don't know where Nestle are from, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were like part of that sort of like vibe as well. American sweets for me, not a huge fan if I'm being honest. But I mean, I appreciate all sweets like sent, you know. If somebody wants to send us like a selection box for Christmas, you know, I'm not against that. Although I shouldn't really. I think that used to be an OTC. Now it's prescription only. Over the counter. Now it's prescription only, says Stephen. Yeah, I'm gonna speak to the doctor about that. I'll be shouting down the phone to the doctor. Oi, Catherine told us on stream last night. Sort this out. Give us a prescription. They're pretty good when you're on like these kind of medications. Like if you go to them and say, look, I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling that way, like I want something to like stop this madness. They're usually like, yeah, okay. Because they don't give you immunosuppressants for nothing. Especially not when there's a pandemic on. Richie G's got a cold at the minute, and his wife, God bless his wife, she was lovely, Laura. I was talking to her the other day, and she was like, I went to see the doctor, and then she was like, I wasn't feeling very well. And I was like, well, that's probably the best time to go and see the doctor, to be fair. And then she was like, yeah, I went back the next day. Turns out, I'm sure she said that. I went back the next day, and she was like, I had an ear, throat, and chest infection at the same time. I was like, whoa. If you're going to do it properly, I suppose. You know. Pradeep, is Hershey too sweet? Hershey makes some stuff with nuts in. That's what I remember. I'm not big on nuts and chocolate. Bob says Hershey is shite. Pradeep says Duchan, yes, also smells very artificial and a bit like vomit. Oh dear. Shiva says cannabis is the only way I can sleep. I refuse to use the pharmaceuticals pushed by the VA Veterans Administration. I need to try some oils. Yeah, if you can stay off the chemicals, do that. You know, I take gabapentin because I have like a lot of like generalized pain, and also some specified pain as well, where I've got sciatica, like chronic sciatica. Like gabapentin's one of those drugs that you take it I take it 3 times a day, right? And it's not meant to be a prop because you're meant to build up like the amount you have in your system, and then like it just like ticks along and like keeps working like permanently. So if you miss a dose, it's not meant to be a problem. If I miss a dose, it is a problem. The sciatica I must have, if I didn't have painkillers, the sciatica I would have would be crippling because it's none too clever at the minute. But it was either that or amitriptyline, and I didn't want to take amitriptyline because that shit literally makes you trip. That shit is bananas. But if the cannabis helps you sleep, mate, all the best. The oils, if you can, just take a little bit, get a pipette, 1 drop. That's what I use mine for. Fantastic. Why didn't talk about Xerjoff, Mitch? What's wrong with the house, says Powder Mizu. It's really poor, mate. I think they're vastly overpriced. I think the perfumes are underwhelming. I think they're boring. I think they are uninspired, but I also think that they are a lot of copies in the house. I think they're plain at best. I think they're plain. Don't get us wrong, there's a couple in there that they're like... I don't know if you know what Veblen goods are, but I think the definition of Veblen goods are products that are priced at high price points in relation to other products in their like sphere. So you get like a perfume. Say like the average price of a perfume is $100. Xerjoff prices themselves at $300, and then what that does is that makes people think, well, because it's priced so high, it must be good. And that's the trick that I think that Xerjoff are trying to pull. I think it's very cynical, and the main thing I would want you to take away from it would be that the perfumes aren't very good. The bottles are good though. I quite like their bottles, but you really, if you want good bottles, just start collecting glassware. I really need to catch up on these. Probably Hershey's don't taste like vomit, or mint chocolate is great, so is orange chocolate. I like mint chocolate. Heavy after eights and Bendix. I've heard you do that. Duchamp Powder Mizu. Xerjoff creates around 100 fragrances. Yeah, you cannot create quality stuff so fast. That's true. Westernood says, if you like the smell of Turkish Delight, get Chopard's Rose Malaki. I've smelled it. I've smelled that Malaki line. It was recommended to me by Thomas. Stumptown Smells. Early Greek. Turkish Delight sprinkled with rose water. Taos Rose Flash is a bit like Turkish Delight. Gourmand Rose almost. Dushan says, about chocolates, the competition in equality is between Belgium and Switzerland. Swiss is my ideal country, says Dushan. Shiva says, you're correct. American sweets have too much corn syrup with white sugar, especially within the sodas. Yeah. As it my friend calls it, high fructose corn syrup. I'm more of a black grapes guy rather than sweets, to be honest. Says Herb, doing well. I ate a fucking punnet full of fucking grapes today. Disgraceful, really. Irish chocolate is underrated. Seriously, Rich, I have sent you the basics. Wait till you try Butler's. Americans do greasy fried foods best, says Americans. Says Mike. But don't get us wrong, there's some great American cuisine, You go down to Cajun and stuff like that. That's outrageous. There's some outrageous American stuff you can get. It's just that American production value, like what they value in their produce. You can always buy from like better stores, and you can buy better stuff and healthy stuff and like grass-fed cattle and all of that, but there's a big culture sort of thing in America to I don't want to use the word mass produced, but like to expand and make a lot of money, and to do that, you've got to do certain things and not do other certain things. And that drive is seen as a virtue in a lot of industries. They don't have the food standards that they do in Europe. It's as simple as that. But then you could say that's why American That's why American stuff's like, that's why European stuff's so fucking expensive, you know? Mind you, everything's expensive everywhere at the minute, isn't it? Jesus, I was at the fucking garage today. I got a bottle of, what did I get a bottle of? I got a bottle of something. That Turkish Delight, and some chewing gum, and it cost us like £4, and I was like, what? Alan Hansen says, vis-a-vis sweets chocolates, to be fair, you have to compare apples to apples. Hershey and Nestle are only one step up from bottom shelf, says Alan. Yes, you're right. I'm not claiming to be an expert on these things. I am just opining and it's probably betraying my level of ignorance about such things. Do you know what I mean? Americans create some good ice creams. The Italians can't be touched for their ice cream, though, can they? It's Italy where you go for your ice cream. Proper throat infractions are truly awful. They'll lay you flat, no problem. I had a Quincy throat once, and I thought I was going to die. Dear me, my mum got the ambulance because I couldn't breathe. They came hurtling into the room, and they had one of those like air pump things to like pump air into us. And I was like sitting there, I was like, oh God, I was delirious because obviously I had an infection, but I also like could hardly breathe. But yeah, I had a Quincy throat. That was rough. So rough. What is this Turkish Delight you all speak about, says Phil. Phil, you've got to, Phil, honestly, just look it up, mate. Buy some. France is the best at creating fragrances, says Dushan. It's hard to argue with that. I do prefer Italian perfumery personally because I like the style, but you can't argue with the fact that France is probably best at it. It's kind of gelatinous sweet thing covered in powdery sugar. Variously tastes like rose, almond, mint. Quite nice, says Herb to Phil. Don't dilute my chocolate with nuts or fruit ever, says Erin. Stay back. Erin will get you. Cadbury jelly popping candy is amazing. Yes, it is, Bariatron. It's absolutely crazy, isn't it? It's fun. We like that. Where am I? Let's have a look. Sciatica hurts, says Bob. Honestly, it's so bizarre. One of the first times I ever got sciatica, right? I woke up and I thought I'd broke my foot in the middle of the night. I was like, whoa. I woke up and I was like, I've broke my foot. It was like my foot was under the quilt as well. So I was like, obviously, if I move my foot, I'm going to be in like dire straits, you know. Convinced I'd broke my foot. It was like I'd like taken it for granted. I thought I'd like whacked my foot off the wall in the night, like thrashing around. It was the only thing I could think of, and I was like, oh my God. And so like I like very gently used my other foot to like move the like quilt off this foot. And I went to look down at my foot and I was expecting to see it like swollen, broken, even hanging off, anything for the level of pain I was in. And I looked down on it and it was fine. And I was like, what the hell? It took us a while to realize. Because then I went to put some like weight on it. You know what I mean? Like I moved my leg and I was like, well, it's not hurting anymore when I move my leg. And I'm like, wiggle my toes and that. And I was like, well, my toes still work. I was like, so it can't be broken. So what the hell is this pain? This outrageous pain in my foot. Felt like someone has shot us through the foot. And I was like, ow. Like, I've got pain in my foot now. But I've had the gabapentin, so it's not quite as bad. It's just a feeling. But I ended up putting weight on it. And I was like, well, I can put weight on my foot. It can't be broken. What the hell's going on? Didn't realize until I was like later on. I was like, oh, it must be like sciatica because I had pain on my leg as well. And like my mum was saying to us, because she used to be a nurse, she was like, yeah, you can go like down into your toe and stuff. Scary. Dushan says, I can only wear gourmet fragrances only after eating a very salty lunch. That's interesting. Chinese takeout is America's best pan-fried dumplings and Hoshin spare ribs. Hoshin spare ribs. Herb says, this is an out there question, but has anyone here ever accidentally texted something really embarrassing to the wrong people? It happened to me yesterday and still getting over it. Yeah, it's painful, that. I have done it before, but WhatsApp will allow you to delete messages you've sent to other people. So that is a saving grace. I'm much more relaxed about it than I used to be. But back in the day when you could only text people and then you just have to wait for them to find it, you know, weird. Spinach ravioli from Boston's North End, says Bob. Shocking how popular McDonald's, KFC are in Europe now, says Pradeep. Yeah, younger population would rather go to a Starbucks than a proper press cafe next door. Yeah, it's weird. I think a lot of that's got to do with marketing, but I think as well, you look at places like Pret, Pret a Manger. You look at places like that, right? And people like to be seen with that stuff. McDonald's is always going to be popular because it's their business to be. They've got a lot of money to spend on marketing and market share. They've got a lot of money to market and to be able to keep things fresh and fight any sort of litigation that might come their way, What happened to Subway would not happen to Starbucks in Ireland, where the Irish Supreme Court ruled that Subway couldn't call their bread because it had so much sugar in, they had to call it cake. That was funny. I mean, if nothing else, that was funny. Ha ha. It's just nice to see them lose for once, do you know what I mean? Mike says, anyone ever try Fuegia 1833 fragrances, an Argentine niche brand I just read about? No. Argentinian. Could be Gonzalo. You never know. Gonzalo could have just Gonzalo K gets in the chat sometimes. Could be him. Pradeep, in Starbucks, I only like tea latte. It has the smell of intoxicated by Killian. In Starbucks, I think they do a really, really nice tea. I think their tea is gorgeous. I got their mint blend tea yesterday, and that was lovely. GMO is definitely not the good stuff, but necessary evil, I suppose. Yeah, regarding your foot, Rich, I wonder if you might have tarsal tunnel syndrome. I think it's just sciatica, mate. But it could be. Sorry. Bob says, Mike, I don't get it. Line allows you to delete Japanese girls, prefer it. Oh, God, Pret is to London what Greg's is to Newcastle. Haha. I had a Greg's today. I felt deep shame and regret. Fried chicken is a true American treasure along with barbecue from all regions. Barbecue is good. Mine was similar sort of thing, says Herb. My friend will be coming back to country soon from Los Angeles, and I wanted to ask him to get me a Dior Homme Parfum. Got any recommendations where I can buy it? Not in Los Angeles, no. You'd probably be better off asking Sebastian. Sebastian probably able to. Sebastian would be your best bet to ask for that. But if he knew where it was, he'd probably buy more because he thinks it's the best designer. It's not. It's not. Sorry, Sebastian. Dushan says, I would like to send a good sexual poetry to my favourite MILF here, but I don't have her phone number. Who is your favourite MILF? Alan says, Herb Weston took it well. Wes took it well and responded, I'll put it on the wife's shopping list. Fugia has some nice fragrances, but they are all outrageously expensive, says Shiva. I've just seen the People Are Bastards video, says Barry Atrion. Sorry about that, people. Some people are bastards. Most people are bastards. We can all be bastards, let's be honest. Kansas City barbecue is my favourite, says Alan, with Tex-Mex barbecue not far behind. I like Cajun. I like Cajun food. Shiva Vareen. Mike says to Shiva, yes, 455 USD for 100 mil. Sounds interesting. Steph says, I like the duck, but not Duc de Vervain, EDT. I'm not a big fan of Duc de Vervain. You would think I would be, but I'm not. Shout out to Duck Pics, says Phil. Alan says, I love people, but I hate the general public. Hope that makes sense. Yes. Yes, that is a very, very good way of putting it. When the people are like a mass, you know, when there's like a mass sort of thing, like it's just too much. Sort of. But people one-on-one, people in smaller, like when you've got a nice community, like when you've got like, you know, when you know the people, it's better. I think we're not built to handle literally hundreds at once, says Herb. Yeah, lots and lots of people all like speaking at once, all doing things at once. Just gets a little bit overwhelming, doesn't it? Alan says, Alan at Beverly Hills Perfume is terrific to work with. Kudos to him, says Alan. Is Alan talking about himself? Alan says Alan is terrific. I think Alan's terrific. I've met Alan. Haha, I've met Alan Hansen. How many other people can say that? Apart from Wes. My celebrity crush is and forever will be Jennifer Connelly. Beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. I remember she was in Labyrinth with David Bowie. Alan says, Wes and I were at Heathrow Duty Free just 2 weeks ago. No DHP. Powder Mizu, where are you from? Where are you from, Powder Mizu? I'll see if I can get you some. Nick. How are you? Lovely Nick. I was extolling your virtues the other day, Nick. I was telling people how great you were. I don't know if you were here. Nick says, good evening, Rich in the stream. I've oversprayed my private blend Beau de Jour and it's not fun. Yeah, I can imagine that getting a little bit much. Big patchouli, big lavender. Mizu-san, have him lay over in Hawaii. I have a bottle. It's true about Beverly Hills Perfume, says Rachel. They are fantastic to work with. Powder Mizu says, Mitch, is it not the best? No. Never tried it, so I can only imagine it's so much better than DHI based on him hyping it so much. No. I think DHI is I think The original Dior Hot, no, I'll do it. I'm going to do a ranking sort of thing one day, so I don't want to spoil it, but I don't think DHP, I sold mine and I don't miss it. It's too thick and rich. The chat is going so quick. Wes and I were at Heathrow duty free just 2 weeks ago. No DHP. Love that one. Amazing scent. Carrots and leather. And leather. I beg your pardon. Carrots and leather. Thank you to Kevin. I don't know who Kevin is, but thank you. You are watching. Are you talking? If you'd like to say hello, thank you. So is 2020 Dior Homme Parfum shite, says Bariatrion. Pass. Dior Homme 2020 shite, but I don't know what the parfum's like from 2020. My bottle was a 2017, I want to say. The chap who manages Beverly Hills Perfumes is also named Alan. Powder Mizu says, I'm from Indonesia, Mitch. Not much chance of us getting a bottle to you there, mate. Bob might be able to ship to you, though. He's much closer to you. I missed that. You're too kind. Cheers, Nick. You are kind. Kazim says, hi, everyone. Just got back from Harrods perfume sniffing. I have a mad headache. Welcome, Kazim. Or Kasim. I've been pronouncing it Kazim for fucking ages. It might not even be how it is. Herb says, for me, DHP is first, Dior Homme Original is second, DHI is third. Good Lord. I'm not sure about that. That fucking DHP is going to disappear soon for sure. No idea what's going on, says Bob. Blasphemy, says Alan. DHP is a must in my collection. Too thick, too big, too rich. The leather just, the over-amped leather feels clumsy to me. Sure, performance is not everything, but damn, only Dior has put out bold designer like DHP in recent years. I sort of get that. I sort of get what you're saying. There's not much bold stuff out there. Sure, performance. Oh, sorry, I've read that. I'm from Indonesia. Alan Hansen is a very good iris fragrance. Dior Homme is to iris what Féminité du Bois is to cedar in a way, says Herb. I found my Féminité du Bois. You can expect to see that in my rotation at some point soon. It's getting to that time of year where it's cold and dark and you need like the sweet stuff. The last 6 to 7 weeks from September to now have been like faux autumn. Like pretend autumn, getting ready for autumn. Feels like autumn proper has like arrived in like the last week or so, you know? Foul weather, cold, rainy, leaves everywhere. Everyone looking like, oh. DHP is a bit much, says Mike. I appreciate it, but find the original so much nicer. DHP feels like a bro version of Dior Homme. Yeah, I would probably go along with that. Feels like a big, broad, bold. Just feels like too much. It just feels like too much, if I'm being honest. You know? It's not my thing at all. What am I doing? Sorry, friends, I've lost you again. "2020 Dior Homme Parfum is the same according to formulation code. I think it's 95 to 98% the same." DHP was on All Beauty once for under a ton. Yeah. You can find some good stuff on All Beauty, actually. Produce says, I've got both the 75 and the 100 ml. They are both identical. Fuck the flipper, says Produce. Yes. The opening of the new Paragon by Initio is bold as fudge, says Alan. Can't wait for the frost. Makes me feel alive again, says Herb. That's nice. Powder Mizu says, yes, it's so hard to get a bottle here. If there are, they sold it for a lot of bucks. Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. Especially with like getting perfume to Indonesia. It's a long way from where it originates from, you know what I mean? It's got to go on a long trip. Same with Australia. The perfume's from far, far away. It's cheaper to make it on site, surely. You know? But most perfume gets made in France. Very lucky to live where I live. You know? The pear and DHI is a lovely sweet, says Burb. Steph says, I just got Dior Fahrenheit, the cologne version, for a good price. Have you tried it? Yes, I have. It's quite nice. I don't like the Aqua. I've got the Aqua. I would sell that. Smells a little bit like, it smells like, can you imagine Narciso Rodriguez for him with some crazy citrus at the top that has no right being there. And it's just not, no, it's not great. Bob says, I was given that Paragon from the Initio lady last week. She said Hawaii got it early. Herb says, my dad loves pear drops. Speaking of old-fashioned sweets and pears. I like old-fashioned, like, hard-boiled sweets. They're quite nice. Dushan says, oh, this vintage Bellamy is so good. I will always remember Ramsey's words. The oiliness of the leather is just amazing. Yes. It does have that black smoke, oily sort of vibe thing going on. Product says, if someone is a little bored of Dior, try Guerlain Iris Terrefi. More expensive, though. How is Iris Terrefi, says Herb to Pradeep. Never tried that one. It'll be like Dior Homme, but a bit more expensive, though. That's what I think, anyway. Oops. Oh, dear me. What time is it? Another 20, 25 minutes. Steph says, I got Aqua Fahrenheit and it has an almost seaweed smell, but I like it. A seaweed note. You can get seaweed notes. They can be quite good. You get like a salty green marine kind of thing going on. You know? Oh dear. Zoologist squid, says Bariatrion. Oh dear. Secretions Magnifique has seaweed. Ugh. Grim. There was no Secretions Magnifique in my what's it called? Eldo sample set. Would you believe? Denied. I wouldn't have minded doing a live first impression of that. Would have been rather fun. I remember Katie Puckrick's first impression. That was really good. Iris cacao vanilla, not sticky, dry because of the gorgeous powderiness, says Bob. Pradeep says, herb, it is similar to Dioron, but without the lavender or fruity pear. It has more leather with a roasted coffee undertone and a higher quality of iris. I'm looking forward to trying Followed by Kerosene to see what he's done with it. I was going to wear it today, actually. I saw it and thought, no. Tell you something, though, the bottle hasn't held up very well. I've had it for a couple of years now, and it's not like whatever he's used to like cover the bottle and like make it like black like it is, because it's just like a clear bottle with like a film over the top of it. Because I imagine black glass would be extremely expensive. That has not held up well at all. It's coming off. Herb says, very expensive indeed, though, product. Not sure I'll get a bottle, but I'll keep peeled for a sample. Herb says, I also love Herbes Troublon, formerly Un Dimanche à la Campagne. It's just too much money for a cologne. Girl on, I've gone a bit mad, really. Yeah, some of the stuff they're doing now is just like, what are they doing? Pau says, I pushed DHI so hard, but really only get 8 hours of longevity, not the beast 12 hours that's everyone gotten. It's your own skin, you know. You've got to trust your own nose and your own skin, you know. If everybody says that it's massive for 12 hours, but you only get 8, that's like that's what you should take notice of. It's not you that's wrong. Dioron is a little too much lipstick. Hitting me in the face at once. I enjoy it supported with additions. Nick says Katie Puckrick was working at Bloom recently, and I asked to sample Secretions Magnifique just to see her reaction live. Outrageous. Did she oblige? Mental. Someone called Super Fat Ass. Super fat ass. Oh dear. Well, it's just still involved with fragrance. Did you tell her to did you tell her to make a comeback to YouTube? We need a back. Rich, get Katie on. Yes, if only I could. I would if I could, but I can't. So, sorry. Hello, Fragrance Journey. You are back at home cleaning guns and cooking. Ooh. Good Lord. Are you back at home? You're not in a boom lift. You're back at home cleaning guns and cooking. What are you cooking? Some American cuisine with Fragrance Journey. Maybe he's cooking goat. She did oblige. I guess after a decade or whatever, she doesn't suffer her initial shock anymore. DHI is best in my opinion, but I do enjoy DHP added masculine leather. Yes, brofied, says Bob. It's very rich, deep, thick. Cooking cleaned guns, says Herb. Or cleaning cooked guns. When are we going live together, says Robert. We can go live together at some point. We'll just have to do it when the schedules allow. Bob says Robert must have a daughter with a new boyfriend. I don't know. Future Journey might have a girlfriend. How is Future Journey? Is he well? I miss Future Journey. He's out building a life. He's going to be a fireman, I think, if I remember correctly. Excuse me whilst I yawn. Sorry. Future graduates fire school on November the 10th. Outrageous. Is he going to be like fully qualified then? Will he just go straight into being a fireman? That'd be cool. Know what I mean? He'd be like going into those like burning buildings wearing bleu de sauvage, just putting them out. Haha. Baptême de Feu. Yes, that's right, Herb. Baptême de Feu is not a great fragrance, though. Not for me. Ginger. Ginger biscuit. Castoreum. Hot metal. It's grim. It is rotten, Herb, you're right. Fragrance Journey says yes, but he has to go to AMT school. Shit, he's going to be like well qualified. I don't know what you've got to do to be a fireman over here. Like, I don't know if it's the same as it is over there. You know? Fragrance Journey says he will only be wearing niche going into burning buildings. Outrageous. As long as it's not Zerjoff. As long as it's not Zerjoff or Bond number 9, but I'm sure he would never lower himself to such horrible perfume. Bob says, rich in America. The father tends to flex some fear into young males courting daughters, hence the firearms. Don't need that over here. You just need like a look. You know what I mean? Just an old man look. Phil de Joie. What a stinky honey jasmine, says Pradeep. Lily, welcome. Yes, I'm sure Fragrance Journey won't be wearing Zerjoff into any fires. You give him some both at London, you know? Both at London would go well with a fire. Lock in a sock. Lock in a sock. Lily, welcome. Evening, Rich. Everybody. Welcome, everybody. Excuse my deep yawns. Herb says Fil de Joie is supposedly a very realistic Cestrum Nocturnum fragrance. But yeah, also too sweet for me. Bob says, Lily, what's going on? Lily wants to know what I had for dinner. I had a pizza. And it was nice. It was very nice. And Newcastle won. Oh, love, brother, be safe. Yes to you as well, Robert. I hope you are well on Sunday. Don't shoot the dinner. Don't spill the dinner on your guns either. I wonder what he's having for dinner. Hello, Benyet. How are you? Herb says, pineapple on pizza thoughts. Love it myself. Yes, I quite like it. Pineapple on pizza. I usually have that. I didn't have that this week, but I do often have a Hawaiian pizza. I like them. They're nice. Adam says, Bob, how does that work? I do sometimes get digits from the daughters while the pops is present, says Adam. Manly Sense says, scent of the day, Trussardi L'Uomo, fantastic tomato leaf for $50. Eau de Campagna, and What About Adam are my favourite tomato leaf fragrances. Benyat says, should I buy the Les Indomptables Discovery set or what? Yes. Are there any fire retardant fragrances? I don't know. I think it's worth discovering, Benyat. I still have to try myself, says Floral Notes. I can enjoy pineapple on pizza while acknowledging it doesn't belong on pizza, says Floral Notes. Alan Hansen says, after living in Mexico City for several years, my favorite taco is the taco al pastor, and served properly has roasted pineapple bits atop. That sounds nice. Pradeep says, is it just here or they put falafels and pineapple in poke bowls everywhere? I don't know. I'm not sure I know what any of that sentence means, to be honest. Very good, Adam, says Bob. Just show some respect and look him in the eye when talked to. D'Entrée Bras smells kind of fire retardant like wet concrete. All our merch scent of the day is Floriental, says James. Oh, that James. Pateur should be pasto. Sorry for the fat thumb, says Alan. Any fragrances with carrot or carrot seed note that you like, Rich, says Aaron. Yes. L'air du Desert Marocain. L'air du Desert Marocain has carrot seed in it. And it is fantastic. Iris smells quite a lot like carrot. You know? It's got that rooty kind of thing going on. Carrots are a root, you know? And iris usually has, when you get iris, you usually get the scent extracted from the root. So obviously they've got that in common, you know, being rooty. What do you prefer, Rich? I'm going to buy Les Indomptables or Eris Parfums. Les Indomptables. But I have tried both. Herb says both quite starchy. Soil-like smells. Yes. I know Peter from Fragrance View really enjoys his soil, earthy, petrichor sort of notes. I like them as well. Benyat says one of those Antoine Lee. Yeah, I would go with Les and Amadabla. Steph says, YSL Lommel team, I like the rose note. Might not be popular on the Duck channel. Mate, if you like it, you wear it and be happy. It's your money. It's your nose. It's your skin. If that's what you like and you want to wear, like it and wear it. Flora Note says, listen to Madonna because it's more in the fragrance conversations at the moment. Product says, do you think you will like Amber Supreme this much if you didn't know it had 10% ambergris? Yes, because I like the way it smells. But I know what you're getting at. Herb says, recently nabbed a cheap Cuir de Chine off eBay. Very strong osmanthus from Les and Madabla. I'm not big on that one. I don't really care for osmanthus, if I'm being perfectly honest. It came as a great surprise to me when I learned that Osmanthus Yunnan by Hermes was one of the first Hermes Essence fragrances. Bob says to Adam, according to Jeremy Fragrance, well, then this must be true. YSL Lom is good strategy when meeting her family. Herb says, I love it. Sour, fruity, leather, floral, sweet. Rich, what was the worst perfume you've ever come across? Easy. Espazon. Espazon by Parfums de Marly. Absolutely, easily the worst perfume I've ever smelled. I've tickled Ben yet. Myself, I have to meet the grandkids at times, says Bob. Oh dear. Oh. Five minutes left, friends. Quickly. Ask me anything. I mean, I might not answer or anything, but you can ask. Let's see. Germ says, me too, Bob. I love older women. Jesus Christ. Adam says, Bob, I got a crazy remark with DHI Vintage. She said, I want to do bad things with you. Christ. I really hated Jasmine Noir from Bulgari, says Herb. Bulgari is right. Sorry, people who like it. Bulgari is shite, says Herb. How many Sergi-Ton bell jars do you have, says Bob? 0. Toes for fingers or fingers for toes, says Lily. Fingers for toes. Eugene asks, why does Tuxedo smell like an underwater church? Well, I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why it does, but it does. We miss going to church today, says Floral Notes. Oh. God will have been disappointed not to see you. Rachel says, have a great evening, Duck. Thanks. And friends, we're off to take the little to play soccer in the park. Have a good play. My friends all love when I wear Musk's Kublai Khan, says Herb, and Malik's are on the up. That'll be a pushback against this like metallic cleanness that's been going on for the last few years. Where's Galen 2 hour starts now, says Adam. That's Bob. God is always with me, says Floral Notes. That's probably why I never see him. My friends all love him. Oh, sorry. Can take you to church, Lily, says Eugene. Dinner first, Eugene, says Lily. Rich, have you tried any of the Pellwall fragrances? No, I haven't, but I know that they make, what do they make? Ingredients. They sell ingredients, don't they? Be interesting to see what fragrances they came out with. Repent second, Lily, says Eugene. Alan says, before I forget, thanks for another entertaining stream. Rich, cheers, Alan. Thanks for being here. Lily is no sinner, says Bob. You don't know that. Herb says some banging incense to be found in church, to be fair. You would think that's where you would find it, like. A pretty good bet, that. You know. I tried Byredo again after a long time. Oh, I'm sorry to hear it. Probably worse than Parfums de Marly and Xerjoff. Oh, I'm not sure it's worse than Parfums de Marly, but I can imagine it being worse than Xerjoff. Parfums de Marly are fucking awful. Poverty de Marly. The Zodorants mentioned them briefly and positively. That's cool. I listen to that every once in a while. They're like 2 hour, they're very rich and dense with information. Adam says, this weekend's streams were all bangers. Is vintage incense a thing? I don't think so. Phil says, we've listened to you preach on Sunday now. You must commit again next Sunday. Everyone shakes me hand, says Bob. Right, we have passed the 2 hour mark. We have streamed enough for this Sunday evening. Thank you very much. Thank you to those who donated to me via coffee. I will be replying to you soon. Thanks to everyone who left a like and everyone who commented. You are very kind. Thank you very much. Good evening, all. I will see you again soon.